Hello, everybody, and today we are talking about Star Wars Skeleton Crew. So, this came out, I think, a few days ago, and I had the cold when I was watching it last night, but hey, I had a fun time watching this show. I was originally not excited for this show at all. I just did not really think it was that appealing to me, but I gotta say, this show was surprising because of how, I don't know, relatable it all is. Like, these newer characters, which I can relate to, and we get like a very cool pirate adventure story with these new characters, and we got Jude Law in it, who I think is a Jedi, but right now we only got 2 episodes, and I'm hoping to review the other episodes as the weeks go on. I'll just have to make the time for it. But probably the first episode was really good, because it reminds you of my childhood, because like we got this kid. I think his name is Kif. This guy, apparently just has the regular life in the Star Wars galaxy. He lives on a planet called At, which is kind of like where if you live in a boring town, it's kind of like that. You wake up, you go to school, and before that he plays with his sort of Star Wars figures, even though you can say they're like Jedi figures, and he even lightsaber duels his one friend, who's this guy. I thought he was Max Rebo's species, but apparently it's not. But the 2 lightsaber duel, and it's very fun to watch, because it just reminds you of when you had lightsaber duels when you were a kid, when you gathered your Star Wars toys and played with them. And it's very heartwarming to watch. But yeah, he goes to school, and it's kind of like how our school system works. We go to school, we go on the school bus, and heck, it even looks like a regular town, but with hovercrafts. It's like our world, but in the future. And some people don't like that in Star Wars, saying they shouldn't use real life. But Star Wars can use real life messages in their movies and shows. But I think what they're trying to do with this show is like they're trying to show like our fellow character trying to get out of his everyday life and go on a wild adventure. But when he's at school, he's greeted by a senator, I'm pretty sure, and she's giving the students various career advice. It was like announced earlier in the episode, but then later in the episode they go to this, and I think she asks them like what their careers want to be, and they all announce it, but Kev basically says that he wants to be a Jedi. He doesn't say it, but basically it implies it, and even his friend calls him out on it, but he says he just wants something more out of life. But then the next day, I think he ends up becoming late for school, and he ends up taking a speeder bike, and it reminds me, I don't know why, if you noticed this, but it reminds me of how like when Tobey Maguire's Spider-Man's being late for the school bus, he would just say, "Hey, stop the bus." Reminds me of that. But Our fellow dude ends up falling into a woods area, and he ends up finding something special, but it's interrupted by when he's captured by the droid. And apparently this is a big day for the school, because apparently they have to take a big test for their career or something. But because he's late, he's unable to take the test, and his father is very disappointed. And he said he's like the father character, he wants to be there for his son, but he's busy all the time. But in hearing this news about his son, it disappoints him. And we do meet our other character. I think her name is Flea. I'm sorry if I said her name wrong, but apparently she's the more risky type also, just like Kev. But she also got a friend named KB who wears like these visor goggles, which is cool. But our fellow kids actually gathered together as Cave actually discovered that what he found in the woods was a Jedi temple which he thought was a Jedi temple, but it all gets revealed at the end of the episode, where they all come together late at night when they sneak out and they try to go into the cave, and they find pressure points, but if things go wrong when it's actually revealed that it's a starship, and the starship actually lifts as the father was actually looking for his son, but the ship actually lifts and then goes into hyperspace, and the kids are amazed by it because they never been into hyperspace. It shows that they never left their town. It's kind of like that with most Star Wars characters, like how like Luke Skywalker wants to leave Tatooine, but Uncle Owen won't let him. Ezra Bridger always stayed on the Fall, but so he's never got to experience other galaxies or other worlds. But now it's these kids' turn as they are drifted into hyperspace, and they also meet this droid named JB something. Sorry if I said his name wrong, but he's apparently I'm gonna guess he's an old Republic droid, which is cool. But what happens next in the next episode is where these kids go into a casino, some sorts. They're trying to find their way back to their home world, but they keep bumping into pirates all over the place, and it's very different. And we get a bunch of cool characters. We get like this wolf character, and he's apparently like the leader of these pirates, who apparently in the opening scene we see like a pirate attack. And yeah, but we see this dude in this helmet. I think it's Jude Law's character. We don't know. But when the kids do get captured after getting to a chase with these pirates all across the platform, they eventually are rescued by Jude Law, who's revealed to be Force sensitive, or he's faking it. We don't know. But I think that's the first 2 episodes of Skeleton Crew. Yeah, the second episode wasn't as good as the first one, but it was definitely a lot of fun. Like, this show's kind of just slowly building itself up, in my opinion, and I gotta say it was definitely a good surprise. Like, the kids in this show, they remind me so much of the Goonies. If you've seen that movie, this is basically the Goonies but Star Wars. And who knows, maybe one of the kids will become a Jedi in this show. We'll just have to wait and see. Do I think this show needs to show familiar characters? Maybe not. It can kind of just be its own thing in the Star Wars universe, since this does take place in the Mandoverse during that time period. So the Mandalorian's still around with Grogu, Boba Fett is still the crime lord, and Luke Skywalker's still trying to build his Jedi temple. But we'll have to wait and see what this show does. I'd probably give the first 2 episodes the first one probably a high 7 out of 10, and the second one probably a low 7. But I'm going to review the next few episodes for sure. So that being said, thanks for watching, and may the Force be with you always.